Okay, so I think we're going to start with just the Okibi projects. So basically from 2018, when we started doing, or when I started doing this more sort of as an actual, more organized business, where I started to do it for income. So probably the first place would be some of the workshops that we did at a house called Kyakuya in the center part, Nakamura area of Ojika. We did some workshops with some people just on how to sort of prepare or keep a minka from falling into further disrepair until you actually have sort of the time and energy and funds to do a proper restoration. So what are the sort of first steps that you take with a long abandoned house to keep it from continuing to deteriorate, because so many of these houses in this climate in Japan, they're made with natural materials, and they can last for hundreds of years. But conversely, if they're abandoned and not taken care of anymore, then they start to return to nature also very quickly as well. And then I think the second project would be actually getting into working with the Hasegawas on the place that they're living now. The name of that house is Yasa. And that was the first sort of major, big project, basically a year-long project of taking on a fully, 20 or 30 year abandoned house and doing everything. So from cleaning out all of the sort of trash and things that had been part of that previous owner's life, getting that all cleared up, and then just years of there had been major termite damage and just sort of like dirt and debris collecting everywhere. I mean, floors falling in on themselves, and that was a major project. And that was one that I hadn't ever done any structural work on a house at that point, as far as actually fixing posts and beams and that sort of thing. So for that first project, we brought in some friends of mine based in Okayama. Somakosha is the name of their company, and they came in and helped us with some of the sort of main structural repairs on that house, some of the areas that had been termite damaged or water damaged. And then I did sort of all of the sort of work associated with that. After they got the pillars in, then I rebuilt the walls, did the earth walls, window frames, flooring work, all of that sort of everything that was carpentry except the actual posts and beams for the most part. And then the bamboo lattice work, the earth walls, building some windows for different areas, hallways into the kitchen. We redid the bathroom, all the tile in the bathroom, and new toilets, new hand washing area, and replastering some of the other walls. So complete sort of all around restoration of that house. I think maybe another project would be the actual dismantling of a house in an area of the island called Karimisaki. This was a house that the Hasegawas had hoped to sort of put to use and maybe even move there at some point. and so they had sort of agreed to take over the maintenance, and eventually the plan was to restore it and live in that house. But unfortunately, the timing just was not good, and a typhoon came in and sort of blew a main portion of the roof away. And it just sort of was decided that it was going to be impossible to restore that house. It would have needed like major repairs immediately because the roof was gone. It was going to deteriorate in a matter of months, and that just wasn't possible. So it ended up that I went in and dismantled that house by hand, basically, starting from roof tiles that had an earth roof under the roof tiles, so taking the tiles off, then the earth off, and then just sort of working my way down, and that took basically a whole summer of dismantling everything. But I managed to get a lot of materials out of that house as well that I then used in other projects afterwards. That was a hard, hot summer though. But it also gave me a lot of good experience too, actually disassembling these structures is one of the best ways, I think, to understand them better. How are they put together? How are the joineries done? There are differences in these techniques and the joinery and the way the walls are built. There are differences based on different communities. And so this gave me a really good look at the way houses in this part of Japan, and particularly Ojika, were put together, and then it kind of gives me a reference against to compare how things are done elsewhere. Now that I have more experience and more knowledge, it's very nice for me to come here in Nagano, and I can see the differences in the way the joineries are done. There's different joineries, different materials. The earth is still an earthen wall, but it's the interior lattice is built differently. Lots of subtle differences based on the regions. So I got a lot of good experience out of sort of being able to pull everything apart slowly by hand, because in general here, if you are demolishing one of these buildings, it's usually just coming in with a big wrecking car, with a shovel car sort of with a bucket on the end, and it just gets all smashed to pieces and nothing really gets saved. So this way I was able to get a number of nice beams out of it and reuse it in a few other projects. Let's see, another project that we did here was in the letterpress, Momoko-san's new workshop. She was expanding from taking over from her father's business and sort of moving into the shop next door, and she had asked me there was sort of a larger space that had been separated into two at one point with some sort of really thin veneer board to create two rooms out of one, and she was just asking me to come in and take out that dividing wall in the center. And unfortunately, once I opened up the wall, it was work that was supposed to be done in like a day or two. But once I opened up the wall, it was clear that there was major termites inside of not only just this wall, but they had gone up into the posts and beams all around that area. And it quickly became apparent that was not going to be a simple 1 or 2 day job. It turned into a whole sort of tear out and putting in new beams and posts, and it turned into a really nice space because now it's a really open workshop. The full first floor is open from the front to the back, and then we made a little loft space up above. And it's a really nice open area now, I think, but it was a much bigger project than initially anticipated, and that was the first project for me where I was actually dealing with structural elements of the building. So replacing some of the termite-eaten beams in there, and I think a post or two got replaced as well, and that was something that I didn't know if I could do or not at that point. It was kind of a sort of a very nervous time for me. I took measurements and double and triple checking everything that I did in there to make sure that I that I made the correct measurements and put everything together right. But it also then, because I was able to do it, gave me a lot of confidence moving forward to try other projects. And then from that point on, I've been able to do a lot more work with structural elements of these buildings, which is pretty much always required because there's usually always termite damage or rotted areas or something that needs to be replaced, at least in the projects that I'm taking on, because I tend to be taking on the ones that are in sort of really rough shape, in greater state of disrepair. These unlivable condition houses are the ones that I'm tending to work on. So I think from there, maybe the next project was